So today we're going to give you a landlord tip if you are a landlord or a property manager in a cold part of the country and it just starts getting cold at night. Over the last couple of days, we've had a couple of calls from tenants saying they had no heat. The first thing you always want to do, in my area, the two primary sources of heat are gas and oil. Fuel is almost always the problem. So the first thing I do is I say to a tenant, and now bear in mind, the tenants are going to wind you up because they are freaking out. The language we had in an email I woke up to this morning at 7 o'clock was, it will be, or I will stay in a hotel. It's very peremptory and demanding. And don't worry about that. That's, you know, that's fear-based. That's not an indication of your obligation. So the first thing I always do is I check and make sure they have fuel. Many times, agents in my area, which is Aquidneck Island, forget to remind their incoming tenants that if it's gas heat, they have to tell National Grid to convert the gas. And if that tenant has an electric water heater, they won't realize until it's cold that they have no heat. If it's oil heat, make sure that the tank is full. I had a situation earlier this week where the tenant went down and checked and told me the tank was empty. And I said, well, geez, that doesn't make any sense. He said, okay, I'll put oil in it. 2 or 3 days go by, find out he hasn't put any oil in it and still has no heat. We go over there and we find out that that tank is full. So tenants are, you know, they don't really know, especially if they're younger and they've never had to deal with whatever they're dealing with as far as your heat system. So be patient with them, be patient with yourself, and you probably have to go look at it. Get a relationship with a vendor who handles your type of heating system. Make sure you use the same person all the time. It might be worth having your tenant required to use a particular vendor. The second thing to check is go over and make sure. I just left a heat call with the grouchy tenant who gave me all sorts of demands and commands. And the emergency switch was off on her boiler, both at the top of the stairs and on the boiler itself. I've seen that before when people have come from different parts of the country and they're not sure how the oil systems work. So the first thing I did is went and turned them both on. I did hear that furnace kick in. It unfortunately did not start again. Possibly something has happened while it's been off since June or whenever, however long it's been off. So we did end up having to call. I looked at the tags on the boiler and I called the last person who serviced it and he's going to go over there. So don't let them wind you up. Don't let them spin you up. Just check the fuel. The first thing to do is check the fuel and check your lease. And if you don't want to deal with tenants calling you and having to haul yourself out of bed at the crack of dawn on a Saturday morning and being told what to do by grouchy tenants, call me. I'll do it.